ఆన్ చేసావా? ఆన్ చేసావా? ఉన్నారా? వాసుదేవ. హరి ఓం. శం నో మిత్రః శం వరుణః శం నో భవత్వర్యమా శం న ఇంద్రో బృహస్పతిః శం నో విష్ణురుక్రమః నమో బ్రహ్మణే నమస్తే వాయో త్వమేవ ప్రత్యక్షం బ్రహ్మాసి త్వామేవ ప్రత్యక్షం బ్రహ్మ వదిష్యామి ఋతం వదిష్యామి సత్యం వదిష్యామి తన్మామవతు తద్వక్తారమవతు అవతు మాం అవతు వక్తారం. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. సర్వవేదార్థతత్వజ్ఞం వేదార్థప్రతిపాదకం పురాణసారసర్వజ్ఞం కృష్ణం వందే జగద్గురుం. ప్రాచ్యపాశ్చాత్యదేశానాం సమన్వయవిధాయకం శాంతం సౌమ్యగుణోపేతం కృష్ణం వందే జగద్గురుం. ఓం అస్మద్గురుభ్యో నమః. So welcome to all our brothers and sisters. We are here once again to continue our study of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. In our last class, we have started with the study of Aphorism 23, Ishvara Pranidhanadva. That means a total surrender to the Lord Indweller will enable us to attain the required state of samadhi by practicing non-attachment. So this will be hastened. That means we can attain this in a fast manner, in a short time, by surrendering to the Lord Indweller, a total surrender. That means we have to make a total surrender of what I have to what I am. Because previously also we have studied that we have two aspects in us. One is what I am, and the other is what I have. So, what I am is the Lord, the indweller. He is omniscient. He is present everywhere. So we have to surrender. So you have to make a surrender of what I have to what I am. I am is the Lord. And what I have is all these various layers formed around what I am. So we have to surrender all this to Him, total surrender. Because He is existing everywhere in this whole creation as the indweller. That is who is called Ishvara. Ishvara means the Lord of the universe. So He is the indweller and the center of consciousness of Sun God and all the planetary systems and also all the atoms of this creation. So He is explained as the one who is minutest in all the minute objects. Like for example, atom. The atom is very minute, and even when you make divisions of atom, there are minute, still minute existences. So among the so minute things, He is the minutest. There is nothing minute than Him. That is how He is explained in the Veda. So He is minutest in all the minute things, and also on the other end He is the mightiest in all the mighty things, mighty objects. So it is on both ways He has extended Himself. So mightiest of all mighty things, that is why He is called Almighty. You know the word Almighty, the Lord of the universe. He is called Almighty. Why? Because He is the mightiest of all the so many mighty objects. So He is the minutest, He is also mightiest. This is how He is explained in the Vedic text. So He is existing always in the heart center of every being, center of consciousness. So it is also given how to approach Him, how to meditate upon Him. So one of the methods is that at the time of sunrise, stand before the sun, rising sun, Then meditate upon that sun and meditate that who is the one who is existing as the indweller in that sun, rising sun. So then, first of all, the one who is the center of the rising sun and the one who is the center in the observer, that means yourself. When you are observing the rising sun, you are there as an observer. So who is the one who is observing? The indweller in us. That is why we can say that everybody can say that I am observing. Who is observing? I am observing. I am means the one I am that exists in everyone. That's the Lord. So He is, so therefore we have to meditate that He who is the indweller in the sun God, in the sun, and also who is in me as the observer, is one and the same. When you keep meditating upon this every day, then during the course of some years, you will be able to know the one, the Purusha, that he is the only one. So he is the only one who is there. So his form is the form of space. Space is his form. So he is everywhere. So that is how we have to practice meditating. So he is called Ishvara. So here in this Aphorism 23, Patanjali says that you have to make a total surrender, pranidhana, Ishvara pranidhanadva, pranidhana. So we have to make a total surrender of what? What is it that we have to surrender? Is it some material what we have? Some riches or some things what we have? But all these riches are the things which you want to offer. All of them, they contain the same Ishvara as the content in them. So whatever else you have, which you can offer to him, which is different from him, there is nothing. So what is meant in this aphorism? What to surrender and how to surrender to that Lord consciousness, then we have to throw our light on in our everyday life. We have some tasks, some works to do. Everyone has to do. So, there is a wonderful method given, straight and easy method. What is that? So first of all, after waking up from sleep, so we have to practice this, everyone. You think of the so many tasks you have to fulfill on that day. Because they are all stored in your mind. I have to do this, I have to do that. But then you have to apply a filter. What is this filter? Just make an analysis of these tasks you have to fulfill, of the work you have to fulfill. Is this the one which you want to do or you have to do? There are only two things, two type of work, two type of tasks. One is that which you want to do, what I want to do. The other one is what I have to do. There is no third alternative. Any of these works or tasks, what everyone has in his everyday life, can be classified under these two categories. One is the work which I have to do. That is one category. And another category is the work which I want to do. So it makes all the difference. So now in the process of total surrender to this Lord indweller, what I have to do is that you surrender all what I want to do and keep doing what I have to do. That means you just go on attending to those tasks which you say that what I have to do. But how can, the question is that how can I, because there are so many tasks or works which stand before me every day, then how I can discriminate whether this is the work which I have to do or this is the work which I want to do? How is that? But when you start to classify and do this total surrender, then what happens is the Lord, the indweller in everyone and everywhere, He will arrange in such a manner that those tasks which we have to do will come before you, which when you take up, you can complete the tasks. That you can invariably complete successfully those things, those works or tasks which you have to do. But what about the other category? The work which I have to do, these things, even if you want to do, which I wanted to do, these works which you wanted to do can never be fulfilled. That is the secret of it. You try, you can apply, you can try. Those which you have to do will come to you. Those which you have to fulfill, which you have to do, which you have to complete, will come before you, stand before you. When you start practicing this, you can observe this. So you keep responding to them, and you will be able to attend to them and complete them. That is possible. But regarding the other category of work, which you wanted to do, those things appear as if you can fulfill them or complete them, achieve them, all these things. But after some years you will realize that you could not take up, or which you could not complete them at all. Then what happens? You will be caught in your mind by dissatisfaction and also by you may feel that you could not do that, you could not complete that. So you feel that this is a failure which has occurred different from what you wanted. You never want to fail, of course. You want to always get success. But those tasks which you wanted to do, which you proposed to do, which you wanted to do, there your success or failure is not at all in your control. This is what was very much widely explained by the Lord Krishna to his disciple Arjuna in Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. Lord has explained in a very familiar terms, very easy terms to Arjuna. That means it was also explained by the Lord to us, not only to Arjuna. Because he explained them to Arjuna more than 5,000 years ago, but we have also the same solution to be followed, given by the Lord in our daily life. So therefore, those people who wish to do, who desire to do something, because that is very difficult to complete that, because that is the thing which you wanted to do, you had a wish to do, so you find it difficult to complete it. And success and failure are not under your control. This you have to know. Whether you will succeed or not, that is what the Lord explained to Arjuna also. Because there Arjuna has a task to fight, which is the prescribed task for him. But he wanted to discard his task, because he wanted to do something else other than what he has to do. So the Lord said, you will get into complications when you want to discard what you have to do. So we have to practice to attend and fulfill those tasks which are allotted to us for every human being, which we have to do. Our responsibilities, so-called what we call responsibilities, are also part of what we have to do. One should not try to discard or escape from these responsibilities. So this is the classification, a differentiation among the two categories of the tasks. So here Ishvara Pranidhana, total surrender to the Lord, the indweller Lord, is the total surrender of what you propose to do. Because our proposals are generally based on our expectations and anticipations. We expect so many things in our daily life, and we can observe. We expect to do so many things, to get so many things. These are all our expectations. Also, we expect how the other person should behave with you. All these are expectations. And we anticipate also. So, we have to surrender our expectations, anticipations, all what we wanted to do. We have to surrender this and accept which are prescribed to us, which we have to do. But the question that arises in the beginning for any practitioner is that how I can discriminate and discard in such a manner, discard what I wanted to do. How can I discriminate first of all between what I wanted to do and what I have to do? The secret is that when you start practicing this, then only the tasks which you have to attend will come before you. And the other tasks which only you propose, which cannot be completed, will not come to you. So that will be easier for us. So you will have to face discomfort, disharmony, all these things when you run about those tasks which you wanted to do or you proposed to do. So, for example, there are so many examples, you have to correlate them with this in your daily life. Suppose you are working in some organization, some office as your profession. So then you wanted to get promoted in your work. You wanted to get promoted to higher step. That is a proposal. Then you make an application, a request, and then continue your work. That is what you have to do. But if all the time you keep thinking whether I get promoted or not, and all the time keep discussing with your colleagues or friends whether you will get this promotion, whether you will get this so-called hike or upliftment in your employment or in your work, then all the time you are in that thinking only, and when you are all the time engaged, your mind is engaged with that aspect, then the work which you have to attend, you have to do, has no time. You will lose them. So you find some person who keeps on discussing about his promotion, all these things, what he did with everybody, and without sleep he suffers due to all this. But the fact is that you will get it if really it is meant for you. Who will decide then? If you decide, that is your wish and desire. So first of all, we have to train ourselves not to make any sort of proposal based on your desire. You do what you have to do, and you have to continue to attend your work, that's all. Whether it comes to you or not, it's not up to you, it's not under your control. So if not, what happens if we keep clinging on it? Then you'll get tension, disharmony. So all these disturbances you'll get. There is an example. Two fellows are walking through the forest. It was dark, it was night. So one fellow was very much depressed and very much emotionally disturbed and weeping that, oh, it is all dark. When will you get light? But the other person said, yes, wait, let us wait. The darkness will not stay for always. Now it is dark because it is night. But night will end and you'll get the daylight. For that, it will happen naturally. For that, why should you weep like this? So the other fellow is not bothered. He keeps just waiting, okay. If you can walk, otherwise you can wait until it is dawn. So the second one Just waited and he is not worried at all. Then after a few hours, once again there is sunlight and he continued to walk. He has no agitation. But the first fellow, for him also the sun rises at the same time. Because he is weeping, the sun will not rise before for him. Even if he weeps intensely also, but the sun doesn't care for that. Who asked him to weep? So both of them, for both of them sunrise, time of sunrise is the same. But the first fellow has an extra quality, that is, he is weeping all the time, waiting for sunrise. The other fellow is enjoying and he is doing his work. He doesn't mind, because sunrise happens after a few hours, just, and then continued his work. So like this, in your daily life, you have to make use of what is called your common sense, that when it is night, again there will be day. The first fellow was all the time, all the night, he was weeping. Oh, darkness is there, light is not there. When we will get daylight and all these things, but his weeping has no sense. It's only nonsense, no sense. So, in all the relationships in our daily life, with all the persons, so we have to rectify ourselves. Then you will train yourself, you have to train yourself that you will not get involved. You will do your work, you have to do your work, what you have to do, but no involvement. Then you are not affected at all. You see, when you get adapted, when you get habituated to attend only what you have to do, which comes to you, then what happens is that even though he is attending to the work, to any work that comes to him, which he has to do, even in that also he is not involved in it. The work is being done through him, he is not involved. He doesn't do anything, but the work gets done through him. Because his consciousness is stabilized, he has surrendered it to the Lord consciousness. But what makes the difference? How can we differentiate? The one who is the indweller is not at all affected by any of these things. It is only the mind, the senses, the body. If you practice that, you are just attending to what you have to do and not involved in mentally. Involved means you have to involve only to work, not about any other aspect, any expectations. So what is that? Then who is working? If you are not here, what is said is that you don't do anything. The work will get done through you. How? Who will work then? You will be stabilized with the Lord consciousness when all the layers which are there in you will work for that. But how is that? We'll get always this question, this doubt, that if we are not involved mentally, who is that? How is it possible that the work gets done through you, through us? It means that if you surrender to the Lord consciousness in you, then you are not influenced by any of the results and the consequences of the work attended by you, done through you. All those consequences, the sorrow, the disappointment, or any other thing you are not affected by this. Because all these things are done by the layers in you which are in a different state. That is how. It's a bit difficult to understand in the beginning. How is that? That is different state in us? Is it different person? No. Person is not different. The work gets done through you in a different state. You are in a different state. You are one with the Lord consciousness, Ishvara. For example, because we should have an example to know it precisely, very clearly. For example, you have a block of ice, block of ice. It is solid material. It's very cold, that is why it is blocked as ice. It has formed into a block of ice. Suppose you drop it on some glass surface, then the glass will break. But afterwards, you collect this block of ice, allow it to melt and become water. Then you pour this on the glass surface, it cannot break the glass. What is the difference? The essence is the one. What is a block of ice is not different from what is some water. But they are the same in essence, but they are two different states of the same one existence, water. One is in liquid state and one is in solid state. So the properties differ. But to the content, the content is not at all conditioned by any of these things. So you should practice by Ishvara Pranidhana, by total surrender to the Lord consciousness. What you will attain, what you will practice is that you will exist as the content, as the I am only, but not as the different states of manifestation, then you are not affected. That is why you have to practice Ishvara Pranidhana, total surrender to the Lord consciousness. That is what we. So, all the various situations what we get in our daily life, which we come across, suppose in your work, in your profession, in your business or whatever it may be, you lost some money. Suppose there is a loss, you have faced with a great loss. Yeah. So all these are also you had to face certain situations, like other person who deceived you, for example. So all these different situations, why these are happening when you are not involved? These are happening from the layers of your consciousness, from your mind, from your senses. So therefore, when you surrender to the Lord consciousness, then you are not at all affected by all these things. Because our real existence is the light only, the Lord in us. But subsequently all other things which can say, which are all being worked through the activity of your mind and senses, because in the objective world you have to do some work using your body, but involvement is from your mind and your senses, then there is a problem. The mind keeps on making so many proposals, basing on the impressions received through the senses. So many proposals the mind keeps on producing every day. If we really go on accepting all the proposals and try to fulfill all the proposals, our life will be a hell, a mesh. So what we have to do is, there is no other alternative. You have to filter them. Attend to what you wanted to do, attend to what you have to do, and discard or filter away which you wanted to do. Otherwise you get identified with all these things, which will lead you into disappointment and disaster and sorrow. Never you are allowed to be happy. Because you get identified with all these things, and you feel always you are suffering, you are deceived, you are disappointed. In fact, the real I am is not affected by all these things. It's only at the level of the mind. So you have to use your discrimination, power of discrimination. What is the difference in action between a yogi and non-yogic person? You take a situation in our human life. Suppose you are hungry, you feel like eating, and you went to the table and you find that there is some food, but you couldn't find which you like very much. But there is food on the table, served, and others have taken food, the same food is there for you, but you could not find what you have desired for you. Suppose you have to rush to attend some examination. Suppose you are a student. You have to rush to the examination hall. So what will you do? What you have to do now? Yes, eat what which is already available, which is taken by others. Also, so for you also, it is. If you want something special, you have no time now. So if you get disturbed in your emotion, then what happens? You cannot do well in your examination. All this reflects there. So, what is required is to remember that you have to eat to fulfill the need of your body. That is the reality. Why we should eat? To fulfill the need of the body, not to fulfill the desire of your mind. We have to discriminate between these two. The mind, because it is the nature of your mind to keep always producing more proposals. I want to eat this, I like this. But if that is not there ready, you want to starve because it is not there. If you discard all what is there because you don't like, and you wanted to wait for something which you like, which you cannot get, what happens? You will starve. Then you are not practical at all. So you have to remember that. If you remember that, taste, you can eat. Why you have to eat? Because you have to live. Why you should make it tasty? Because you have to eat. So taste is to make you eat. So why you have to eat is to be able to live. That is the only reality. But if you cling on to the taste only, you wanted to eat because it is tasty, even though it is not required, then you are not a yogi at all. You are not practicing yoga at all. A yogi knows that taste is given by nature to us like a remuneration. Why? How? Because you will continue to eat when it is tasty, and you continue to eat, and you will not think. If you think of the taste and eat only, when you do that, when it is not tasty, then you don't like to eat. But if you are really in the yogi practice of yoga, then you realize that you have to eat to live, not to live for eating. It makes all the difference. A yogi knows he had to eat to live. A non-yogic fellow, he always lives to eat. Just that much is the difference, but that makes all. It makes a lot. So, all these aspects, eating, drinking, enjoying, sleeping, all these aspects, and also sexual pleasures, all these things, all these aspects. You have to know, a yogi will know their purpose and requirement, and he will only act according to it when it is required. Not required, mind will not go over it because it is trained like that. So you have to train thus. How can you train this? By realizing. So yoga is an attitude in your life. That is what is very clearly explained in the very beginning of the study of this Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Yoga is an attitude. So if you want to become a yogi, there should be a change in the attitude towards your life. So all these things you have to practice, keep practicing. But at the same time, we have to realize, we have to practice that we have to surrender everything to the Lord consciousness in you. Ishvara Pranidhana. That is what is explained in this Aphorism 23. Ishvara Pranidhana. So all your proposals, surrender to the Lord in you. Everything which you have to do, everything in your daily life what you attend, surrender to the Lord who is there in you, within you also. The Lord is there everywhere, around you and within you also. He is there in everyone around you, in the form of everyone around you, and also within yourself as yourself. This we have to realize. When we start practicing this, we can realize that our life becomes very harmonious, free of all complications. That is the very purpose of practice of yoga. You live without complications. Enjoy your life. Keep happy for yourself. But how? The Lord says, why can't you be happy always? Because the Lord is the indweller in us. The Lord, how is the state of the Lord of the universe? He is always happy. And He expects us also to be happy always. But we are not ready to do that, to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone in this world, without exception, everyone in this world, in this creation, wants to be happy, ultimately. That is what is the goal. Okay. That is why God has given us all this apparatus. But we don't know that we can be happy. That is the fun of it. We want to be happy, but we mostly experience the opposite. That means unhappy. We go in search of happiness when it is possible to be happy immediately. But the funny thing is, we want to search for happiness. in this human life. Because we are not aware that the Ishvara, the Lord, is there in us. He is always a form of happiness. Ananda Swarupa. Ananda is happiness. So where you want to search, because what we do is we try to search in everything outside, around us. Where is happiness? How can I be happy? Where is happiness? All the life we keep searching. But you will realize that it is always there within ourselves. At any moment we can be happy. But the thing is, we want to search which is there already in us, and we won't find. We want to purchase also happiness. That is the funny thing. In the world, in the creation, only human fellow, he thinks that he can purchase. Because this human being has a consumer mentality. He feels that by having a credit card, I can purchase anything in the world. I can go into the market and purchase whatever I want. Okay. Can you purchase happiness with a credit card? Try that. Can you purchase health? If you want to be healthy, you have to be healthy. You try to have it immediately. You can be healthy, you can be happy, you can be but you want to run about it, run after it, search for it. Because you are not ready to apply what is required for that. It is very simple. Simplicity is the key for happiness. That's why it is said that to be happy is simple, but to be simple is very difficult. Because the mind will not allow you to be simple. Mind is habituated to make complicated everything. Everything is complicated by your way of thinking, your mind. That's why what is explained is surrender to the Lord consciousness. You surrender every proposal, what you get, what is made, what is put out by your mind, surrender it to the Lord. So simply what is said in this aphorism, Ishvara Pranidhana means surrender what I have to what I am. Very straight. That's what this aphorism 23 is given in us. The human constitution, in the human constitution, what I have is different from what I have, what I am. So what I am is the Lord. So a constant practice of making surrender of what I have to what I am is the process prescribed here. So the process, Ishvara Pranidhana, it is a process prescribed which is a constant practice of making a surrender of what I have to what I am in us. So again and again we have to focus our mind to this, upon this. The body, mind, senses, thoughts, impressions and all their consequences, they belong to what I have. They are never included in the pure light of what I am. What I am is different, not at all included in all these things. The consciousness of the untrained being is constantly being gravitated towards what I have. Actually, we have to be nearer and nearer to what I am, but because we are not trained in the yogic path, we are gravitated, attracted to what I have. That is why you make all the complications. We won't approach what I am in us. We always want to approach to what I have. I have this, I have that. I have money, I have property, I have these persons around me. I have the fame. I want to be famous. So I have this influence. All these things, what I have. And are you happy then? Be sincere. If somebody asks you, are you happy at this moment? Confirm. Can you confirm that you are happy? Of course, I want to be happy. Yes, you want to be happy, but are you happy? Anytime, any moment. There are some moments when I was happy, but that's not. You must be happy now or never. Always, every moment. Yeah, but how is it possible? That is the question. Our mind makes a question that how is it possible to be happy always? That means your mind is proposing not to be happy always. Your own proposal you are making. When the Lord says you can be happy always, that is why Lord has given you all this life. But our mind poses a question always that how I can be happy always? So then what I have to do to be happy? How I can be happy? What I have to do to be happy? The answer given by the masters of yoga is, the only thing you have to do to be happy is to be happy, first of all. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Nobody is deprived by the Lord from being happy. Everyone is allowed to be happy. But why I am not able to be happy? Because you want to be happy, but you are not allowing yourself to be happy. So that is why you require to start practicing yoga immediately. The purpose of practicing yoga is the same. The attitude, it changes, it brings a change in the attitude of your life. Yoga is an attitude of life. So, why all the beings are gravitated towards what I have? This is due to the law of magnetic attraction used by the nature to keep what I am in the vehicles of what I have. You see, that is how the nature arranges. What I am is the Lord, which we call the soul in us. But for this, all the vehicles are given. These vehicles given to us by the nature, these are all vehicles. The mind, senses, body, all these are part of the vehicle. So this most not complicated, but it's a most wonderful composite vehicle given to us by the nature. What for? To practice always, to make yourself happy, for that purpose. To experience happiness only, it is given to us. But because we are more attracted towards the things which is called what I have, away from what I am, that is why if you are nearer to what I am, you can be always happy. That is the ultimate secret is, you can be always happy. It is possible that you can be always happy when you are nearer to what I am, but since you are nearer to what I have, you are not able to be happy. That is the reason. When yogic training is once initiated, the lower pole of what I have begins to lose its influence upon the consciousness. Our real existence is as the I am consciousness, which you call the soul. Then the consciousness begins to gravitate towards the higher pole of what I am. So this is the phenomenon which makes the process of evolution. So in the process of evolution, we are directed to be attracted towards the higher pole in us. That higher pole is what I am. When this becomes more and more stronger, then the influence of our lower pole, what I have, will become weaker. Then we are going nearer to what I am in us, what the Lord in us. That is the process. But this process may involve, the process is, it may take some 100 of births or thousands of births. But we can hasten this process. For that is the purpose of practicing yoga. What is the purpose of practicing yoga? Why should we practice yoga in our life is to hasten, to make a faster step forward in this phenomenon of getting nearer to the I am in us. So that is the process. The consciousness begins to gravitate towards the higher pole of what I am. The process will be hastened without any violence or risk. So this is hastening, the process of hastening it does not involve with any violence or risk. When you follow the process in the manner in which it is explained, the science of yoga. So whenever a total surrender is proposed, then there will be no risk at all. First you have to propose it, a total surrender of what I have to the Lord in us. We have to make this proposal. Then there will be no risk at all, no danger at all in hastening this process. It is just like, for example, we are traveling in a car. And during this travel, you can reach the destination and certain time is involved in this journey to reach the destination, and it is possible also to make it speedy, make it hasten your journey, but by following certain regulations. When you follow these regulations and drive fast also, then there is no risk involved. In the same manner in our daily life, if you follow this path of yoga, then without any risk, the process is hastened for you to attain the state of yoga. That is what is explained by Patanjali here. And also the same thing is explained by Lord in Bhagavad Gita for every one of us, not only for Arjuna. If it is only for Arjuna, it would have been forgotten long ago. But even today, the teaching of Bhagavad Gita is there existing, ready for us, because it is for everybody in this creation, every human being, for all times. That is why it is there fresh as on the first day, even after so many thousands of years. So that is what you find this process of yoga, how it is being given here. Whenever total surrender is proposed, the process will be hastened. So this brings a gradual transformation. What is this transformation? Shift of our consciousness from what I have to what I am. The method of total surrender is the most effective of all the methods. That is what Patanjali explains here in this aphorism. In this process, the disciple need not have the headache of all his effort and all the methods and all these things, methodology. It's very simple. Apply that, that's all. There is no complicated methodology in this. There is nothing that complicates this. You just start practicing to surrender. The Lord in the Bhagavad Gita also says the same to Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, because Arjuna has questioned the Lord, please tell me what I have to do to get out of this complication. Then the Lord said, in your daily life, so you have to get into your daily life. Yoga means not something abstract. Many people, some, of course, not all the people, but some people, they think that practice of yoga means they have to find certain place which is aloof, away from all the other people. Go away from the world, the daily life and world, leave everything, discard everything, go away into exile, sit somewhere else where you have nobody around you, and close your eyes and sit But that is not the real, because wherever you go, your mind is with you. First you are, because the big obstacle in this process is your own mind. Unless you train your mind, you cannot, you can go everywhere, anywhere, but you cannot go away from your mind. That you have to remember. When your mind is with you, where can you go away? That's what the Lord says. So your practice of yoga is in your daily life. You have to attend all what you have to do in your daily life, and while doing this you have to practice yoga. That is what Master CVV says, that your life is a journey, constant journey. So this vehicle is like your body with all these implements is your vehicle for this journey. So what Master CVV said is, if you have something to repair in this vehicle, you have to do it while you are continuing your journey. Don't try to stop this journey to repair this. That means practice of yoga should be every moment, at every step of your daily life. It should not be, you should not segregate it to certain part of your life. Then you cannot attain this. Unfortunately, people think that we have allotted certain part, half an hour or 1 hour, to practice yoga. Many people say that I practice yoga every day for 1 hour. Then what about all the 23 hours remaining in the day? So you are in yogic practice 1 hour only. All the 23 hours you are non-yogic. So what the use of it? It makes no sense. So it should be a yogic, total yogic living. That is the real purpose of practicing yoga. Your life totally should be yogic living, yogic life. So therefore, you should never try to discard or escape from your daily life, escape from your duties, your task. You should not try to. The one who tries to escape is never fit for a yogic practice. That is what you find either in Bhagavad Gita or in Patanjali said, Yoga Sutras. You are unfit if you want to escape. The one who wants to escape is because of fear. That is why he wants to escape. Some people want to escape because they are afraid that if they get involved in the work, they will be tied down by the attachment towards the work and all these things. Therefore, they want to detach and run away. But it's not possible. Because attachment or detachment is from your mind, not in the body. The work which you are doing is not binding you. What is binding you is your sense of attachment towards the work which is there in your mind. It is a mind from which you cannot escape. Master E.K. has given a wonderful example in Mandra scripture. He says that a dog can run away from another dog, but it cannot run away from its own tail. Yeah, so sometimes you find a certain dog suddenly observed its tail chasing it. Therefore, the dog wants to run away from the tail. But how can you run away? How can the dog run away from the tail? So that's what he says. A dog can run away from another dog, but cannot run away from its own tail. So, this is an example for our mind. Our mind is like a tail for us. So we cannot run away from our mind. Never possible. Because the effort itself is made by the same mind. How can you do it? You want to get rid of the attachment, but the attachment is from the mind, not physical. So you cannot run away. So a yogi, real yogi, will never try to discard anything from his life. Attend every work which you have to do, but you can be free from attachment. Then you can be always in the experience of happiness. You can experience happiness while doing your work. For that purpose, this wonderful method is prescribed in this aphorism, at a total surrender of what I have to what I am, the Lord. That is Ishvara Pranidhana. Then we enter into the next aphorism, aphorism number 24. What is it that is explained in this aphorism? Just we mention this aphorism and continue it in our next class. So in this aphorism 24, he explains that he explains more about Ishvara, because it is okay, you said that you have to surrender totally to Ishvara, but what is Ishvara? Who is this fellow? What is his nature? Unless we know more, we know completely about Ishvara, how can we make a surrender to him? How can we make a surrender of what I have to somebody whom you don't know? That will be our question. So, in this aphorism 24, he explains more clearly about Ishvara, nature of Ishvara. He says that the Lord of the bodies is distinguished indweller, who is never tackled by complications, deeds and their results. So, we have so many types of deeds and their results and the complications in attending to the deeds, and also all the proposals to do certain things. So in this aphorism he says that the Ishvara, who is the indweller in every one of us, he is never touched by all these complications, deeds and their results. So the Ishvara, the Lord in us, is never touched at all, never influenced or touched at all by all these proposals which we make in our life. Either the proposals or the deeds or their results or the complications which we come across in trying to attend to the deeds. So this Ishvara is not at all touched by any of these things. That is Ishvara. The one who is touched is the jiva, the indweller. The jiva means the individual. Whom we call individual is jiva. So he is touched by all these things. He is influenced by all these things. But Ishvara is never affected or touched by any of these things. So here in this aphorism, he is going to explain us more clearly that the indweller, the Lord in you, in every one of us, is not at all influenced or touched by any of the proposals, so many proposals what we make, and any of the deeds we attend to, and the results of these deeds, and any of the complications we come across in attending to the deeds. So with any of these things, the one who is not affected, even though he is within ourselves, is Ishvara. That is what he says in this aphorism. So in us we have, our existence is like a capsule of, Ishvara is also there and the individual is also there. Both of them are there in this capsule of one existence. That is the wonderful aspect in this creation. So Ishvara is also there along with us. In fact, it is he who is responsible for all these things. So he is there along with us, and we are there also, the individual as an individual. So there is a wonderful coexistence between Ishvara and us. Both of us, we are there. But we are always affected by all these things, and he is not affected with any of these things. That is the basic difference between us and the Ishvara in us. So let us try to study more of this in our next class, next week, on the 11th of this month. Thank you all. Vasudeva, Vasudeva, Vasudeva.